All right, so today we have to start with more absolute insanity coming out of the mainstream media. And today it's CTV News, and they put out this clip yesterday on Twitter saying, if I had known the lockdown could be so liberating on that front, I would have done it a lot sooner. Our very own Lisa LaFlamme gave her answer to a popular viewer question, her hair. Again, this is just so insane on so many levels. It's not even funny. And that again, these are the same people that think that there's people dying left, right, and center, and yet you're turning around and saying, basically, because I gained so much personally, I wish we would have done it sooner. Again, I don't even have words for this stuff. This is the thing that the lockdown zealots always accuse you of is, oh, if you want to reopen, you're okay with people dying. You want people to die, even though that's not even close to being true. Um, but yet they're allowed to turn around and say, oh yeah, because it was so good for my career. Again, like the the morals and the ethics these days are so backwards. It's so backwards. It's not even funny. And this is like I brought up last night too. This is classic rules for radicals. Accuse the other side of what you're doing. You know, they're the, they are the ones that are fine with people dying. There's no data that shows that by locking down you're saving people's lives, but there is data that goes to show that you are destroying people's lives by locking down and is causing people to die indirectly. So again, it is them that are the ones that are advocating for the death upon people. I mean, not directly, and a lot of these people, I don't think they're coherent enough to put two and two together on that one. But again, it's just sheer projection, and then this is why these kind of debates and stuff is so pointless nowadays, is because you can't have an honest debate with these people. It's impossible. It's all projection. It's all just mindless hysteria. You can't ask any questions whatsoever. If you are skeptical in the least bit, you are viciously vilified to no ends. And again, that's where we're at these days. Like that's where we're at. And again, the other big thing I wanted to bring up here too is that how in the world can people still watch the news? And this is another thing too that again I know people that watch CTV, which is what really bothers me about this whole situation is that again they're literally mocking they they lied to people. The mainstream media has been lying to people this entire time, or at the very least misleading people. And now they're turning around and say, yeah, because it's so great for my career, I wish we would have done something sooner to where incredibly high amounts of pain and suffering was brought upon the general population. Like again, I don't even I don't even have words on this one. I really don't even have words on this one because again, like this is like the amount of Stockholm syndrome that exists in the average mainstream media viewer, it really knows no bounds. Like it really knows no bounds. And again, like I say, I know these people, and the reason they do it is because they're so ignorant. It's not even funny. And the only time you ever bring it up with these people, number one, it's almost impossible to get through to them. And if you ever do even come close to it, they will viciously rake you over the coals. They will lash out and attack you, right? And even though again that they're supporting their own demise, right? They're supporting their own demise, and this is why these people are so stupid and so ignorant, is because they're supporting something that's hurting themselves. Like supporting the lockdowns at this point. I mean, it can be summed up in saying that you support mass inflation, you support mass unemployment, you support this massive wealth transfer to the rich, you support a authoritarian form of government. Like those are just things off the top of my head. I could go on and on. But by supporting this stuff, that's what you're saying. Like that's what you're saying. And again, these people are so ignorant. They're low. Calling them low information is an insult to low information for a lot of these people. And again, like I say, I know these people. I know these some of them, not a ton of them. Um, and again, I don't mean to be mean, but again, we're past the point of being worried about hurting people's feelings at this point. Like we're past the point of being worried about hurting people's feelings. And here's the thing too, like if you are worried about hurting people's feelings, then like seriously, I don't have words for you either. Like I don't have words for you either. And I'm not saying you get up in people's faces and be mean, but if the time comes, you have to speak the truth. Like I think with like I said, when the time comes, you absolutely have to speak the truth. Um, so anyway, this is just absolutely disgusting, like absolutely disgusting. And again, this is just pure and utter like narcissism and just virtue signaling. Because again, if it wasn't for the federal government giving CTV and all these mainstream media outlets massive amounts of taxpayer money, these people wouldn't exist, or at least nearly to the extent that they do. Like these people would be irrelevant if it wasn't for that. Like again, like the amount of narcissism that you need to have to think that you're all hot and mighty when the only reason you're so popular, or at least the main reason you're so popular, is because the government steals everyday people's money and gives it to you so you can turn around and prop them up. Um, Again, like it's one thing, like it would be one thing if these people were like self-made people. It would be one thing, but that would still be bad. Like that would still be bad, but at least I can understand. But again, these people are entirely propped up. They are complete puppets for the government, right? So anyway, that's the first thing I wanted to bring up. The next thing is from Paul Joseph Watson saying official figures out of San Francisco show that drug overdoses have killed almost 4 times more people than you know what this year, and yet the new government and yet the government continues to hand out free needles to addicts. And again, if you look in Alberta too, more people have died of overdoses in Alberta than of the you know what. And again, like this is the reason why the people that claim to care about saving lives, they don't care about saving lives, right? The people at the top care about pushing for socialism and pushing for communism, and the people that spout their talking points are people that are so low information they'll believe whatever they're told. Because again, these are the same people that are worried about fascism, but yet they support arresting people for leaving their house without the government's permission. They support arresting people for making social media posts that go against the government, guidelines. They're worried about fascism. No, they're really not. They care about saving lives, but yet they're big on, you know, telling people it's okay to be obese when that's one of the leading causes of heart disease, which is the largest killer like in Canada and in the US, right? They don't care about saving lives. They constantly downplay the horrors of communism, which killed over 100 million people in the 20th century. Don't tell me about how you care about saving lives. You could care less about saving lives. Um, so anyway, like I say, that's stuff I've brought up a lot before, so I don't want to get into it too much. But again, the whole point here is that they don't care about saving lives. And again, this is something that really needs to be pushed back against because it's a complete lie. I mean, if you look in Alberta, only 4% of people that died over the previous year died with the you know what, let alone from the you know what. Only 4% of people. So again, if you care about saving lives, why do you go way down the list? You know what I'm going to pick to help save lives for the thing that's killing 4% of people. And again, that number is inflated to a pretty large degree as well. So again, that's a high end estimate. Like again, I don't know how much more data you need. They don't care about saving lives. They care about pushing for big government, right? And the next thing I wanted to bring up is from CanGal48 saying, you have to be kidding me. Zev Doctor has been suspended. He knew this was coming, which is why he asked all of us to retweet his Zelenko protocol. Now again, this is just more proof that it has nothing to do with following the experts and listening to the experts, and everything to do with listening to the experts that agree with these people. Again, these are the same people that are perfectly fine taking advice from Bill Gates, who isn't a doctor, right? And has a massive conflict of interest when it comes to this whole situation, right? Like, again, it is absolutely nothing to do with saving lives, with listening to the experts, and everything to do with just blindly repeating what they want repeated, right? And again, this is where we're at on social media too, to where people that are technically experts aren't allowed to share their opinion if it differs from the narrative, right? They're not allowed to, even though they're an expert, right? We got to listen to the experts. Apparently not. So, another important thing to point out here too is that you got to get on the alternative social media platforms. The ones I got in the description are some good ones. There's some other ones as well, because again, Like I brought up before, within the next 5 to 10 years, pretty much everyone, if not everyone, with any form of credibility is going to be banned off YouTube, or is going to be banned off Twitter, is going to be banned off Facebook. All of these mainstream media or mainstream platforms, at least when it comes to politics, is not going to be on these platforms. So you really got to get on the other ones. It's better to do it sooner rather than later, right? And the last thing, IMF refuses to allocate 940 million to Belarus amid pandemic. Again, this is another reason why we know this whole situation is a complete scam, because the IMF is paying people off to go along with their garbage, right? The IMF is paying people off to go along with their garbage. So anyway, that's the last thing I wanted to bring up. So if you liked the video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you check out those links below like I brought up. Follow me on those other platforms. If you want to donate, you can do that as well. Again, I appreciate whatever support I can get, but like I say, check out those links and stay tuned for more.